Hey now, welcome back Pokemon trainers. This is your friendly neighborhood Bullados, and today we are at the Pokemon Video Game Challenge Premier Challenge up at Outpost 2000 in Coon Rapids. We're in round 1. To the left of your screen is Michael Holmblad. To your right is Daniel Thorpe. Michael is playing this match with his Mega Camerupt, Oranguru, Mega Obama Starkana, Clefairy, and Hariyama. The Z Crystal is on his Starkana. Daniel Thorpe is coming in with Mega Manectric, Landorus Therian form, Tapu Fini with Waterium Z, Cresselia, Celesteela, and Snorlax. Players now have 90 seconds to choose their teams for this battle, and once they start the battle, they will have 5 minutes of their own time to select all their own moves and to finish up their matches. Time does not run while the battle animations are happening. So both players have selected their teams. Once again, Michael is on the left, Daniel is on the right. So, battle start. Michael leads off with Hariyama and Oranguru, while Daniel is going to counter with Tapu Fini and Snorlax. Michael is probably looking at Oranguru to use Instruct on his Hariyama. Probably going to go for a close combat. No, sorry. Fake out on the first turn to the Snorlax. Tapu Fini, he doesn't really care about all that much for this turn. Snorlax will eventually become a very annoying Pokemon for him. Daniel, on the other hand, leading with his Snorlax and Tapu Fini. Snorlax is just a big HP sink. During the last season, it was largely used as just an annoying Pokemon. So Snorlax starting out with Protect. Tapu Fini is going to Moonblast into the Hariyama. And it's super effective, getting a lot of damage in there. Hariyama's close combat doesn't do anything. Oranguru uses Trick Room. It's twisting the dimensions, making slower Pokemon act first. It's very likely that the Hariyama is probably the slowest Pokemon on the field, while Tapu Fini is probably the fastest. Oranguru is also probably very, very slow. So more than likely, Hariyama will be the first or second thing to go. But Daniel's sending out two very slow Pokemon of his own, in Celesteela and Snorlax. Snorlax drops a return, and that's going to knock out the Hariyama. So the Snorlax is slower. Sunny Day comes out from Oranguru. That increases the power of Fire-type attacks and makes Solar Beam a one-turn move. It's like Michael is sending out his Camerupt, which he likely wants to Mega Evolve and attack for a whole lot of damage, especially to that Celesteela. I see Eruption, Earth Power, Flamethrower, and Protect on him. And Eruption is just going to deal massive amounts of damage, especially once Oranguru decides to Instruct it. So Camerupt is going to Mega Evolve into Mega Camerupt. Large increase in some of its stats. Snorlax is going to Protect. Celesteela, I would guess, is also going to. Oh no! No Protect, just the Eruption that's going to one-shot the Celesteela. It did not one-shot the Celesteela, but the Instruct will just make Eruption work again. That's going to knock out the Celesteela, and both players are now tied with 3 Pokemon remaining. Daniel now has his choice of Pokemon to send out. We already know that he has Tapu Fini in the background. We don't know what his other Pokemon is, though my guess is that he's going to have the Manectric in back. but he just sends out Tapu Fini because he knows that Tapu Fini can one-shot the Camerupt. Michael, more than likely, is just going to use the exact same strategy he did last turn. Eruption, deal a whole lot of damage to both Pokemon. Does 50% damage to Snorlax. Snorlax drops a return. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, but not quite as much as Daniel would like it to do. Instruct is going to make Camerupt reuse its attack, and Snorlax and Tapu Fini are going to take another lot of damage, but it doesn't do as much as the first attack. Snorlax is now back above 50% health, though the Tapu Fini is now going to use its Z move, probably Z Hydro Pump, and that's going to easily knock out Camerupt. Largely due to its super effective nature. So Camerupt faints, and Michael is down to his last two Pokemon. Strakataka? I don't know how to pronounce that new guy's name, but either way, he's looking at some rather, Oranguru just does what it does. Michael's probably going to attack both of his opponent's Pokemon, probably with Rock Slide, and then Oranguru just instructs. Tapu Fini protects, wants to stay out on the field for one more turn. Stratakana uses Rock Slide, doesn't hit the Fini, but it'll do a lot of damage to that Snorlax, but not as much as Michael was hoping for. Snorlax uses Return on Oranguru, does about a quarter damage, and uses Instruct on Staticata, uses Rock Slide. It's only going to hit the Snorlax again. And Snorlax is now down to the red. Twisted Dimensions return to normal, and the Fini Mist disappears from the battlefield. Daniel still has 3 Pokemon left to Michael's 2. More than likely Michael will want to reset the Trick Room, because we know that Staticana's the slowest Pokemon on the field, and he needs that thing around. Fini, no matter what, is going to attack first, and it's probably going to take a knockout against Stakataka, because it looks like it's either a ground or a rock type, but Fini's just going to retreat, and Landorus comes out. I'm kind of surprised by that. Stakataka must have another type that he's afraid of. Snorlax is just going to recycle, giving it back the use of its Figgy Berry, and he's going to eat it to restore about 50% of his HP. Stakataka uses Rock Slide, does moderate damage to both opposing Pokemon, and Oranguru is going to use Trick Room to make sure that Stakataka goes first again. At this point, it's more than likely that Michael will want to get rid of that Landorus, or at least that Landorus spot, as quickly as possible. Daniel switches out into Fini. Misty Surge resets the battlefield. And Stakataki will use Gyro Ball on the Tapu Fini spot, which will knock it out pretty easily. Daniel is now down to 2 Pokemon remaining, even though we know what that is. Stakataka Beast Boost gives it a defense. Snorlax is just going to recycle its Figgy Berry so that it's set up for the future, and that's going to recover it to full health, it looks like. Oranguru uses Instruct. That will make Stakataka use Gyro Ball once again. Does a small amount of damage to Snorlax. Landorus Therian form comes right back out. And Intimidate from Landorus is going to reduce the attack of both of Michael's Pokemon, though for Oranguru it doesn't really make much of a difference. Michael is still trying to figure out how to knock out some of his opponent's Pokemon, especially now that he's got 2 attack drops on both of them. Oranguru is never going to attack. So Michael just has a Gyro Ball onto Landorus, Recycle from Snorlax, Instruct, which will let Stakataka attack again, and Stakataka will use Gyro Ball onto the Landorus, which knocks it out. Daniel is now down to just Snorlax. Stakataka gets a defense boost from its Beast Boost ability that happens whenever it knocks something out. So Michael is just... I would think that right about now would be the time to use his Z move, unless he just wants to keep Snorlax just above the yellow so that it doesn't activate that Figgy Berry. In fact, it's very likely that that's what he's going for. Snorlax will use Protect, so Stakataka will not do very much damage to it. Rock Slide into the Protect, while Oranguru is going to use Trick Room and set the Twisted Dimensions back to normal. So now the turn order, I believe, will be Oranguru, Snorlax, Stakataka. Oranguru does have an offensive attack, but I'm not sure if he's actually going to use it. While Stakataka still has his Z move that he can use. So Oranguru is going to use Psychic. I didn't think he would decide to use that. It does a small amount of damage. Snorlax is going to use Belly Drum to cut its HP by 50%, maximize its attack, eat a Figgy Berry to increase his HP back up to the green again. Stakataka will use Rock Slide, deal a small amount of damage onto Snorlax. So I'm kind of surprised that Michael isn't thinking about using his Z move at this point. Or maybe he is. But he really needs to get a knockout this turn, and I'm pretty certain he won't. Because more than likely Snorlax is just going to recycle after the damaging attack. Snorlax used a return. To me, that's rather shocking. I thought for sure Daniel would want to. Sounds like Daniel did not know that Stakataka actually had a Z move on him, so Tectonic Rage will very likely knock out the Snorlax. Although Snorlax did not get knocked out, but it's very low on HP. I think that Michael thought that that Z move was going to knock it out. So did I, honestly, but those 2 attack drops really just screwed it over. So Snorlax is going to recycle the Figgy Berry, eat it to restore its HP, and then Trick Room comes down. So Stakataka is now the first to act in each turn. So now Michael is just looking for flinches. If he can get Snorlax to flinch twice in a row, then Michael wins this game. If he misses like he does right there, Snorlax is easily going to overpower the Stakataka. Snorlax does have, and misses again. Return from Snorlax is going to deal a small amount of damage. It's not very effective against Stakataka. With that being said, I don't think that Snorlax has an attack, has any other attack it can actually use. Stakataka is going to Rock Slide, and that's going to trigger the Figgy Berry. And we're going to get a return. Does another small amount of damage, not very effective. Tells me that Stakataka is a rock type. I can't remember all these new Pokemon anymore. Snorlax is going to protect. So Stakataka's Rock Slide is going to I really do think that Snorlax has this game in hand. It's just going to keep on alternating recycles and protect until Stakataka runs out of PP to use his attacks. Stakataka is now going to reset the speed order. Yeah, I see that there's very little time left in this match. And I mean, there's not much to really comment on it right here. Nope. Right now it's just all about whether that Snorlax decides it wants to deal actual damage, or if it'll be content with protecting it. It looks like Daniel is content with keeping Snorlax's attacks high. His Snorlax's HP high. Stakataka is just going to keep Rock Sliding when he doesn't predict a protect. Snorlax is going to return for another small amount of damage, and Snorlax is very likely just going to wear down Stakataka. Snorlax is going to protect. Michael's going to use up another Rock Slide, and turns are going to be really quick from here going forward. Michael's still looking for Snorlax to flinch from Rock Slide, but I don't think it'll matter all that much in this battle. A crit happens, but no flinch. Figgy Berry comes out. Snorlax is going to use Return, deal a small amount of damage. During the next turn, it's going to Recycle to get back the Figgy Berry. Even with a crit, it's very likely that Stakataka can't knock out Snorlax with that amount of HP. Stakataka is going to Trick Room, reset the battle dimensions. Stakataka now goes first. And looks like he's going to Rock Slide. He's not predicting the protect. Snorlax is obviously going to protect because he wants to run Stakataka out of power points for his moves. So Michael correctly predicted the protect. So now Snorlax has to use Return. Rock Slide is going to do a small amount of damage to Snorlax, but it's just going to heal that up with its Figgy Berry. And now Snorlax is going to flinch, but that flinch doesn't really matter all that much this late in the game. Snorlax will likely protect here, and I can see that Michael is trying to predict that. I can see the bottom screen for him. Earthquake goes into protect, does no damage. Stakataka is going to try and Rock Slide. Snorlax is very likely will just Recycle, and once again Snorlax avoids that attack. It's a pretty agile Snorlax to have avoided Rock Slide like 3 or 4 different times. This is Michael's last use of Rock Slide. We've got Return doesn't do very much damage. Rock Slide is not going to do very much damage. It's obviously not going to flinch anything. Stakataka doesn't have very many options left, and the timer is going to run out on one of these two before before someone actually gets a win. Sakataki uses Earthquake, does a small amount of damage to the Snorlax. Flinch doesn't matter at this point. Oh no! Did the game just freeze? Hang on. I've got to go check to make sure that the game didn't actually freeze. Going, guys. So unfortunately, Game 1 will officially end in a tie due to the double freeze from both sides. It's normally impossible to tell which side made the freeze happen, especially like that. So it comes down to a 1-1 tie according to section 3.4.5 of the video game rules document. So both players will now head on to Game 2, where they will again have they'll just start their battle again. 5 minutes to run this battle. This is one of the few battles that's very likely going to end up going all the way to time. It's a 50-minute timer. So we start up with the second game. 90 seconds to select your teams. You know the teams that both players are using. So we're going to start up this nonsense again. Hope that we have a little bit more interesting of a match this time around that doesn't come down to, you know, two huge guys with very little attack poking at each other for 20 moves. Daniel starts with Cress and Tapu Fini, while Michael starts with Oranguru and Clefairy. We didn't see a couple things on here that we didn't see during the last game. Cresselia is a very defensive Pokemon. It has high defense, high special defense, and it usually runs a lot of protecting moves and healing moves. Clefairy is an Evioliter. And it'll find ways to make it's an Evioliter, and it's a very technical Pokemon. Clefairy drops a Follow Me, Taunt on Clefairy, so Clefairy can no longer use any of its non-damaging attacks. That looked like a Light Screen from Cresselia. Trick Room from Oranguru, and while there's a lot of status on the field, I really do feel like Daniel had just got complete control due to the taunt. I think it was a taunt, right? Yeah, due to the taunt, now can't really do anything, so he has to switch it out, put out the Camerupt, and Tapu Fini is is going to deal a whole load of damage onto the Camerupt. Snorlax comes out. Oranguru uses Sunny Day, which will significantly weaken the attack power of the Z move. Oh no, he's not going to Z move. He's just going to Hydro Ball. A lot of damage, but does not knock out the Camerupt. It is super effective. Oranguru is going to instruct Camerupt. And he already set up the Sunny Day, so there's not much else he can do with that Oranguru other than instruct. While Camerupt just wants to deal as much damage as possible. Camerupt can Mega Evolve. Is going to Mega Evolve into an Earth Power, which then kind of makes sense. Camerupt just going to Mega Evolve. Gives it a stat increase. I think it changes its ability. Protect from Tapu Fini. Earth Power. Tapu Fini protects itself. Return onto Camerupt. Knocks it out. Oranguru uses Instruct, but it failed because there's no partner Pokemon. So Michael is now down on Pokemon. And he has to choose something else to come out. He's going to choose the Sakataka. Very defensive Pokemon. I'm surprised he would choose a Rock type to come out against Tapu Fini. But in the last game, Daniel did switch out of the Tapu Fini spot when he did see the Sakataka, although it was very likely due to the Misty Surge that he wanted to reset. However, he's just going to switch out to Celesteela. Gyro Ball into Celesteela is not going to do very much damage. Due to Celesteela's typing, Belly Drum will cut Snorlax's HP in half to maximize its attack. Then he needs Figgy Berry to get back to full health. I believe Oranguru now has an Instruct to use. So Sakataka is again going to use Gyro Ball onto Celesteela. And again deal not a whole ton of damage, but attacking twice took out about 2/3 of Celesteela's HP. Daniel is still in a commanding position, largely due to that taunt that he gave on first turn. Michael is largely in stun and pray mode. He really needed that Camerupt to do more than just get knocked out. Snorlax is just a pain for that Camerupt to have to deal with. Sakataka is going to Rock Slide, deal not very much damage to either one of them. Celesteela is now in the red. Snorlax flinches. Oranguru uses Instruct, and that might very well knock out the Celesteela. And there goes Celesteela. Snorlax is now down below half. Sakataka gets a defense boost. The light screen wears off and the Twisted Dimensions goes away and the mist disappears. So there goes all of the status stuff from the first turn. Daniel now has to send out one of his Pokemon, and he's going to send out Tapu Fini to reset Misty Surge. More than likely, Michael wants to get Trick Room set up, and it looks like the Sunny Day is still up, but he doesn't care about that too much anymore. Although he might. Tapu Fini is still dangerous, and the Sunny Day makes Tapu Fini's attacks much smaller, but he's not going to do that this turn at least. Remember, Michael does have a Z move left to him, which Daniel's going to use his Z Fini. Hydro Vortex. It's very likely that he uses that on Stakataka's spot. And until Stakataka's type, it should get very close. Down to 22 HP. Snorlax uses Return onto Oranguru. I think Daniel was expecting knockout. Crit on the Oranguru, which that's awful for Michael. Here comes the Z move from Michael's Stakataka. Let's use Tectonic Rage. Very likely into the Snorlax spot, I would think. So remember from last game that Snorlax was just such a monster to him. And very likely this Tectonic Rage will, and it does in fact knock out the Snorlax. Beast Boost increases Stakataka's defense, but that doesn't matter very much because a tackle would probably knock out Stakataka at this point. Both players still have one Pokemon remaining. Michael sends out his Clefairy, while Daniel is going to send out Cresselia. Now, again, Cresselia is a gigantic defensive wall, while Clefairy, more than likely, Clefairy is just going to follow me for a while. Because he can't have Stakataka taking any more damage. There goes the follow me from Clefairy, but here's the taunt onto Clefairy. Clefairy fell for it. Cresselia uses Ice Beam onto Clefairy, which will deal not very much. Stakataka uses Trick Room, which means that Stakataka is now the first Pokemon to move. Clefairy now doesn't have very many moves it can use, so it can Endeavor. While Michael still wants to look for flinches, but he really needs that Tapu Fini gone. Stakataka used Gyro Ball on Tapu Fini, deals a complete knockout. Beast Boost raises defense, and Endeavor onto Cresselia is going to deal a small amount of damage, but that Ice Beam is going to easily knock out the Stakataka. Oh, it does not knock out Stakataka. Now we're down to 2 Pokemon for Michael to 1 Pokemon for Daniel, but Clefairy still can't attack. There's not much that Clefairy can do at this point. Stakataka is going to use Gyro Ball, does more damage than I expected to Cresselia. Cresselia is just going to heal 50% of that up. Wiki Berry comes out. Clefairy is going to Endeavor, but Clefairy has more HP remaining, and there goes a Stakataka, which means that we're now just down to a Pokemon that has no offensive attacks versus a Pokemon that does. Michael does not have very much time left on his timer, but he knows that he can only use Endeavor for at least a little bit. Cresselia is going to use Ice Beam, deal a small amount of damage to Clefairy. Taunt wears off and the mist disappears. Now Clefairy has access to its entire moveset, Endeavor, Helping Hand, Follow Me, and Protect. Not one of those moves can help it knock out this Cresselia. Endeavor's going to deal, basically pull Cresselia down to Clefairy's level. Clefairy takes a little more damage. The Twisted Dimensions return to normal, which means Cresselia now goes first. Cresselia is going to use Ice Beam to do a small amount of damage to Clefairy. Clefairy only has... and there's a Frozen. Clefairy is frozen solid, and it now cannot attack. So there's not a whole heck of a lot that Michael can do anymore. Daniel is just going to Ice Beam Clefairy until it's knocked out. Clefairy thaws out, uses Endeavor to bring Cresselia down to the same amount of HP as Clefairy. Cresselia uses Ice Beam again, does a small amount of damage to Clefairy. Clefairy uses Endeavor, brings Cresselia down to the same amount of HP. but I don't think Clefairy has any move that can actually knock out that Cresselia. I'm pretty certain that Endeavor cannot crit, no matter what you do. So Endeavor's going to pull Cresselia down to Clefairy's HP total, but again, that's not going to matter very much. Unless Michael is just... I don't know what Michael is thinking at this point. He needs to start protecting. Clefairy's going to once again bring Crest down to its own HP total. And there's... He's now out of Endeavors. So he's going to follow me, and I think Michael is just basically trying to concede this match, hoping to get a little more information out of Crest. There's the Ice Beam. Clefairy is knocked out from a crit. Clefairy feigns, and Daniel takes game 2. So Daniel now has 1 game to none, and there is a tie in the first round. So we'll now reset and start up game 2. Game 3 of this match. They'll now have 90 seconds to select their teams again. It's the same teams as before. Camera up to Ranguru, Abomasnow, Stakataka, Clefairy, and Hariyama. Daniel leads. Daniel's got Manectric, Legendaries, Tapu Fini, Cresselia, Celesteela, and Snorlax. So we start this up again. Let's see if anyone decides to change their strategy from the previous game. My guess is that Michael's going to completely change up what he's been doing, while Daniel's largely going to stick to what's been working. So here's Daniel. Michael starts off with Oranguru and Stakataka, which was his best pairing for the first 2 games. Daniel will start with Landers and Cresselia. Intimidate is going to drop the attacks of both Oranguru and Stakataka, which is a big deal for Michael. Stakataka is very much a physical attacker. But Oranguru's entire purpose is to just set up Trick Room. Stakataka is going to be recalled, and Clefairy comes up. Remember, this is a very defensive Clefairy. It did not take much damage last time. Earthquake's going to do no damage to Celesteela, but gets rid of about half of Clefairy's HP. The Heavy Slam does a good amount of damage to Oranguru, but Oranguru is just going to eat its berry, Citrus Berry. Stores 30 HP. Trick Room twists the dimensions. So Michael, even with the Trick Room, is still probably in a bad spot. I believe that Clefairy is faster than Celesteela. But Celesteela just goes away. He's going to send out Snorlax to just be a tank. Clefairy's going to Endeavor the Snorlax, which is going to do a whole bunch of damage. The Snorlax is just going to heal that with Figgy Berry. Oranguru uses Psychic on Landorus. It's not going to do very much because Oranguru doesn't do very much damage to himself. Earthquake from Landorus is going to do a lot of damage to everybody. It's going to crit the Oranguru but not knock it out, and Clefairy survives by just a sliver of health. Back to move select. We know that. Oh, do we have a freeze state at this point? hold on. Looks like we have another game freeze. Let me go double check. Well, here's the thing. 4 and 4, the game is void. Restart. Is it not a tie? 4? I'm looking at the sheet right now. It says 4 Pokemon to 4 Pokemon. The game is void. Restarts in the beginning. Oh boy. We need to wait for these guys to finish. It's not dead. So, this was another game freeze.
Wait, okay, if the game freezes though, wouldn't the person with more HP win if it's 1-1?
No. I'm looking at the sheet right here. It has a very nice chart.
Rare circumstances, is that? Rare.
So now we restart game 3. Not much time left in this game. I have to go back all the way to team preview. On that, you're wrong. That has been around at least since internationals last year.
I just saw it this season.
Are you still searching?
Both players get to reselect their teams for the restarted Game 3. So let's start this thing up again. Once again, Michael Holmblad is on the bottom of your screen while Daniel Thorpe is on the top. Daniel sends out a Legendaries and a Celesteela, while Michael is going to counter with Rango and Cameron. Just like all those other games, that Cameron is going to want to Mega Evolve very quickly and probably protect on its first turn, I would guess, because it really wants Rango to set up a trick room. While on Daniel's side, Legendaries is going to try and deal as much damage as it possibly can, but since Protect is definitely cutting down, Daniel will have to correctly predict Protect. He's going to switch out Celesteela into Snorlax, which has absolutely been his MVP throughout this entire match so far. Cameron to make it then it's going to protect. It wants to make sure that it can use its attacks once Sunny turns up. Landorus is going to turn into Oranguru to deal about a third damage. And Landorus goes back into Daniel's team. Now he has to choose one of his other members to come back out. Out comes Tapu Fini. And Michael really needs to set up Sunny Day as soon as possible, because without that, that Tapu Fini is 100% going to knock out Oranguru. Sunny Day again weakens the power of water type moves, and we do know that at this point the Oranguru is faster than the Tapu Fini because of Trick. Eruption is just going to do a little bit of damage onto Snorlax. Snorlax is going to return onto Mega Camerupt, dealing a pretty decent amount of damage. Sunny Day comes out, and that increases the attack power of fire moves, decreases the attack power of water type moves, and allows Solar Beam to attack in one turn. So Michael is largely Daniel's switching out Tapu Fini into Landorus, which I find odd. Landorus wants to intimidate, which doesn't make any sense because Camerupt's entirely a special attack, not a physical attack. But Snorlax and Landorus both get down to a very low amount of HP. Snorlax's berry will restore its health, and Snorlax will return, dealing another approximately more than a third. But the instruct from Oranguru allows Camerupt to reuse Eruption, which is going to knock out Landorus. And it did not knock out Landorus. I'm amazed that did not knock out Landorus. Anyway, Camerupt is very, very low on HP. Snorlax is going to protect, which I'm kind of amazed that he didn't just try and knock out that Camerupt. Oranguru is going to Psychic, dealing the last little bit of damage Landorus needs to knock out. And Daniel now has to switch out his Pokemon. We still have Sunny Day in effect. We still have Trick Room in effect. Celesteela comes forward. Oranguru is going to probably want to... he wants to use a damaging move because he knows that Camerupt is basically not attacked. He's going to retreat the Oranguru and send out Stakataka. Camerupt will flamethrower into Snorlax, which will do a pretty decent amount of damage. Doesn't quite knock it out. Snorlax's return will easily knock out Camerupt. However, Daniel, all he needs to do right now is get rid of that Snorlax. And I think he can because Stakataka is much slower, but the Twisted Dimensions return to normal. So he needs something that can attack and deal damage and is actually faster than that Snorlax. I do think that Oranguru is probably faster than the Snorlax at this point. He needs to make sure that the Snorlax... Hold on, time was just called. So guys, that's time. You have 3 additional time was just called. Both players now have 3 turns total until the match is finished. So they need to start knocking out. They're going to try and start knocking each other out very quickly. Stakataka is going to get pulled back in is going to come out, probably predicting a lot of damaging moves going into that slot. Cresselia uses Stomping Tantrum onto Clefairy, does a small amount of damage. Recycle is going to turn 0. Yes. Snorlax is going to return onto Oranguru. Does a pretty decent amount of damage, but Oranguru is just going to heal that right up with his Citrus Berry. Fairy's going to Endeavor onto Celesteela, probably deal a pretty decent amount of damage. Oranguru is going to Psychic the Snorlax, get it below half health. Heavy Slam onto Oranguru, does a bit of damage. Once again, both trainers need to get knockouts to finish this match. I don't think that there's enough damage on either side of the fields to get that knockout. Snorlax going to eat again. Fairy's going to Endeavor onto Snorlax, bringing it down to a little more than half health. Heavy Slam from Celesteela onto Clefairy. It's going to knock out the Clefairy. Beast Boost raises Celesteela's attack. And Michael still needs to send out his final Pokemon, which we know is Outpost. This is the final turn of the match. If Michael does not take a knockout in this turn, then Daniel will win this match. I don't think that either Oranguru or Stakataka can take a knockout. Snorlax is going to protect. Is going to Rock Slide into a Protect. Probably should have used his G move there. His Z move. Celesteela doesn't get close. Instructing the Stakataka. Going to Rock Slide again. And that does not. That very likely will not do enough damage to knock out the Celesteela. Celesteela's going to Stomping Tantrum, which doesn't matter all that much. Stakataka gets knocked out anyway. So, Daniel now has 3 Pokemon remaining to Michael's 1. And Daniel takes this second game. And I believe the match as well. Daniel, you took the first game, right? So Daniel wins this match by a score of 2 games to none on time. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time.